And I'm really thrilled to have as my guest in the first segment here, Steve Joseph, who is the Senior VP of Operations at Unum here in Worcester.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me today.
Steve, we love having you, but for our viewers who might not be familiar with Unum and what you do, maybe you could just share with us the company's history.
Sure, absolutely. Unum, as you probably know, is part of the former Paul Revere company, who had been in Worcester for well over 150 years. And really how we look at ourselves, we're an employee benefits company. And really we sell insurance products. If you take away retirement benefits and medical insurance, we're really selling all those other kind of employee benefits. So disability insurance, life insurance, critical illness, cancer coverage, dental and vision now too, even with a recent acquisition we had last year.
So, people thinking about retirement, all these other things, but you got to think about these other options, and you work with individuals and companies in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most places that people don't think about is disability insurance. And really what we talk about, it's really protecting your income or protecting your paycheck. People don't realize it. Just think about what would happen if you were to become sick or injured and you didn't have that income coming in. How do you pay your mortgage? How do you pay get ready for college for your kids? How do you fund your retirement plan? How do you pay all those basic expenses? And today in this country, we've done some studies, 40% of the people today live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
And it's really an unserviced need, and that's what we're trying to do in the marketplace.
Right, and a pretty significant employer here in Worcester in the region?
Yeah, absolutely. We have well over 500 employees. We're in well, it was our new building. It's 4 years old now. Yeah. We love our new space there. And in addition to Unum there, we also have other tenants. We have 6 or 7 other tenants. That's right in the heart of the city down there where all that activity is going on. And it's great for us from that standpoint of being in the hub. And also it's a great recruiting tool for us, right, as we see all that's going on around the area.
Yeah, I mean, Unum deserves a lot of credit, being a catalyst in helping make sure the vision of City Square, new modern buildings, bringing density to the downtown core, and being that leader that is attracting others.
Yeah, we feel, like I said, we feel real fortunate to have done that. It's great that the company had options to look. As a matter of fact, we could have gone outside the city. But being in the city for well over 100 years, we knew that's where we wanted to stay, and I'm certainly glad that's where we stayed.
Yeah, well, both of us here are Worcester guys, so we appreciate it even more. You mentioned, good for your employees. You've also led locally and probably nationally in terms of employee recruitment and being out and involved. Maybe you could talk a little bit about what Unum's doing around employee recruitment and building those pathways.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that we're looking for too is we have several different programs where we're looking to get new people to the company. I mean, let's face it, for all companies, it's a challenge today when you think about millennials and movement. I've been with Paul Revere Unum for 33 years. That doesn't happen today when you're looking for people coming into a new company. So we find as though it's important to really get the young people quickly involved, and we have several programs that we have. Matter of fact, just this week alone, I met with a group of what we call interns and scholars. So we have a very strong internship. We have about 8 to 10 interns that we bring right into Unum for an 8 to 10 week program. These interns, what's great about them is they come from colleges all across the country, as far away as California, down to Florida, so come from some great schools. But what's key is they're local kids, the kids who grew up here. And what we find from a standpoint of recruiting employees when they're ready to become employees, we have much better luck when we're bringing kids back who grew up in the central Massachusetts area. They may have gone away to school, but they want to come back to this community.
And I sound like a broken record on the show and in conversations, but the single biggest issue that we hear from our members, regardless of the size of the company or the sector they're in, is talent turnpike workforce, finding employees who are motivated and understand. And financial services world no different, and you're exposing people and letting them know what goes on in that nice new building downtown or that company that they've heard about. Yeah,
I think you're in college. I know when I was in college, I'm not even sure, even though I grew up in Worcester, I'm not even sure that I knew about the Paul Revere Insurance Company way back in the day. So I think when you have programs like internships, and the other one we have too is what we call a scholars program, which is really based for local kids in local colleges here. So while they're going to school, what we do is, and they're always looking to make a few extra bucks, so what we do is we bring them in, and they come, and they're employees for us. So they'll come in and work 10, 15 hours a week, during the school year, working into their classes. We're pretty flexible with the schedule. And it's a great opportunity for them to learn about our company and our culture and what we're all about. Plus, we get a great opportunity to learn who they are. And then, probably be in that program for 8 to 12 months, or, through the school year. And then, some of them, many of them have come on to be employees
Yeah, some
there.
great stories, some local.
Yeah, so you get those local kids here involved. They learn about our company, our culture, and I think it's a win-win because we get a better understanding and more retention.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing every day. Karen Pelletier, who's the director of our chamber at Higher Ed Business Partnerships and working in the workforce spaces, we keep talking to our members, internships. A little bit of work, but the return on investment and the exposure and ultimately, hopefully, new employees is all part of what you get in return.
Yeah, you do have to spend time with it. I mean, we kind of pride ourselves in when we bring interns in, we're not going to ask them to photocopy stuff or do that kind of work. We actually have meaningful projects that they have to complete during their 8 weeks that are with us. We also expose them to many of our senior leaders within the company. We'll take them to our other site up in Portland, Maine, so they get an opportunity to meet a lot of folks there. And it's really all about, like I say, learning what our company is all about and learning what the culture is all about. And we've had some great success of those people being employees down the road.
Right, and helping do that locally, Unum has been help with the Chamber relaunch a program along with the Greater Worcester Community Foundation called Leadership Worcester, where we try to bring in and train people who have identified by their company as up and coming and somebody you want to kind of get involved and build a network. And Leadership Worcester's been, we're in, I think, our third year. Applications just ended, but you've been involved with that as well.
Yeah, I think that's you're always looking as a company, we're always looking for what's going to help us retain people. And I think something like Leadership Worcester and having our employees go through that, they feel as though the company's committed to them. So, there's clearly a benefit from our perspective is, they go through this program, they learn about what's going on in the city, whether it's through the government, nonprofits, and different things. And I think they come back to us much stronger employees. And I think when they see all the great things that are going on in the city, whether it's the economic development, work in nonprofits, it's going to help with our retention too as well.
Yeah, I mean, and for our viewers, it's a competitive process. Companies nominate people. There's scholarships for companies or nonprofits or things that can't afford it. And these young professionals, and not always young professionals, sometimes it's someone coming from another part of the country, but 25, 30 go through a year-long process where they spend a full day out in the community learning about different sectors and aspects of the city and region.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I see when we talk to these folks when they come back, they just go, I didn't know all this was going on here. I didn't realize how government runs or what goes on behind the scenes. I didn't know how many nonprofits are here who are looking for volunteers and people to help and support the nonprofits. I didn't know there was all this great economic development going on here. And, like I say, it's been tremendous for us too.
And we're doing a minute or two left, but another example of where Unum is leading is really creating a model on how businesses can get involved in an impactful way with our schools. You've done that with South High, hands-on yourself, with Maureen Benenda when she was a principal there. You're looking to create a template where other businesses can get involved, and you're leading that effort.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Our partnership with South High is, been both rewarding for our employees, and certainly it's been great for the students there. Me being a Worcester kid, as I say, helping out is just tremendous. So what we're trying to do now is we probably get about 20 businesses roughly that are looking to partner with the schools and hopefully within their communities where their businesses are. And some of it's financial support, some of it's about volunteering, getting their employees involved and to meet the students and work with the principal. And it's a partnership with the principal. We don't go in and say, hey, we're going to do this. We want to sit down with the principal and say, how can we help you? Because I think a strong education system is about community. We all have to work together to have a strong school system.
And 26,000 students in the schools, and your involvement in South has led to many of those kids you've worked with become employees.
Yeah, it's been great to watch them. You see them, and at South High, they go to local colleges, and then we'll be out recruiting, and they'll see our banner and say, hey, I know about Unum, and we love to see those kids come back and work for us, and they're doing tremendous work for us.
Well, Steve, thanks for being with us, and we'll have you back soon to talk about some of the good work that you and your team are doing at Unum. And